Hey guys, so we're going to be looking at the full moon in Gemini. And the full moon in Gemini is going to be on December 3rd. So, depending on where you are in the world, it could affect like Eastern Standard Time, PST, things like that. But we're going to be looking at, just like we did with the new moon in Scorpio, how this new moon in Gemini will be affecting us, what we will be asked to let go of and release. Of course, being a full moon, that energy is more prominent, but also what we're being asked to accept. And as you see, I have my comfy robe on. I suggest you do the same if you can. So if you're at home right now, chilling, you can, you don't have to pause the video, just, what you can't do, but you don't have to pause it or stop it. Just, go get your most comfortable robe, your snuggie. If you're like me, some tea, some coffee. Just make yourself super comfortable because that's also one of the great things about full moons. It provides this great sense of like comfort and like, warmth to you. Because even though it can be challenging that we're releasing a lot of things, purging can be very comforting in the sense that it ends up releasing what we don't need anymore and bringing in what we really can work with. So we're going to be using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck to find out the base. And we have the card of growth. So with growth, this really is the central lesson of this full moon in Gemini for a lot of people, where it talks about basically those of you who have been stuck in repressive or oppressive situations and circumstances, relationships, jobs, XYZ. Now is the time to really speak your mind about what you need. Now is the time to really speak to other people about what you need, about why you need it. I think for a lot of people, they've been kind of understanding that there are elements of their life which really do not serve them, but yet they continue to stay because of, different elements, different reasons to it. But with this full moon in Gemini, especially being that we have a Mercury retrograde coming up as well in December, it's really about being honest with yourself and honest with others. So that's going to be the biggest lesson for you. All right. Using the Soul's Journey lesson cards. We're going to look at the element that we're being asked to release at this time during the full moon in Gemini, and the element that we're being asked to accept. Interesting. Okay, so what we're being asked to release at this time, we have purpose. I know what I am here to do. So, interestingly enough, we have the card of growth, right? And with this like combination of growth and purpose, it's almost saying that if you know that you've been involved with people, involved with things, elements of your life that really do not have a central purpose, you know in your heart, this is not what I'm meant to be doing. This is not where I'm meant to be at this time, or, these people around me are not who I'm meant to be entertaining and engaging with. Then purpose is like you need to stir your, steer yourself towards the things that you need. But to be able to even get to that point, which can be a blank slate, you have to be able to be honest and remove or move away from the things that you're like, no, this is not where I'm meant to be. And I know this because some of us have been in this situation for years, for, months, but for years, maybe even decades for some people. And they're still there. But all along, they've known that with full moon in Gemini, it really, there's no more hiding, especially when we just had Scorpio season, which is all about revealing our truths, especially our most, deep and dark truths. So with purpose, It's saying for spirit to be able to lead you towards that point and place in which you can say, I do feel like there are pure intentions with these people. I do feel like I am meant to be doing this work. And it doesn't mean that those things are not challenging. Anything in life can be challenging if we make it, but it does mean that there is a deeper sense of intuition and guidance behind that. We're not just engaging in something or entertaining people for the sake of doing that. Okay, or being asked to accept, we have growth. So you see how we talked about basically moving things out of our life so we can be able to grow, and literally, if you can see, growth and growth. Double whammy, Geminis, double whammy. So growth in this deck is I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness. And what we're being asked to accept in that is to understand that when we start to really make concrete and brave decisions in removing people, removing elements of our life, even our own behavioral patterns or any toxic habits that we have, once we start making moves on basically getting out of that realm, then we start getting to a point of expansion where we can be able to meet new people, to go to new places, to receive new ideas and new inspiration, and really tap into our creative side and our more empress-like abundant side. And then as an extra card for that, we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Now, I am going to do sometime next week a live stream reading for the Mercury retrograde. But it's very interesting that Spirit basically had this card come out specifically when it comes to this central lesson of growth. So it's almost like growing, like using the past to grow. So instead of seeing the past as basically, and I think I wrote a tweet about it, but like I don't miss my past or I don't have any resentment or anger towards my past. I'm the kind of person where I appreciate it. I have gratitude for it because I see it as a bridge. I understand that without my past, I wouldn't be here in my present. And my present is so beautiful. And it's such an evolved version of what I ever thought I could be, thinking of myself when I was, 16 or 17 and now I'm 23, or in your own life, compare where you are now, even if not physically or financially, but just mentally and emotionally, how you've matured, how you've grown. So understanding the past to be a bridge can be very beautiful. So with growth and regret, it's saying don't have regret or resentment during this Mercury retrograde, which people tend to do because it does ask us to reevaluate and to review being a retrograde. But growth can also be expansion. It can also be seeing the past from a higher perspective, from a perspective of gratitude, a perspective of abundance, and not just limiting it to just a certain memory or a certain individual or a certain experience, but how as a whole did this thing really play a part in how you learned about yourself, how you learned about other people, how you learned about your ability to love and give in an equal and balanced manner or not in an equal and balanced manner. Just different things like that that end up influencing us for the long run. Okay, using the Universal Mini Tarot, we are going to get some clarifiers. So for growth. Okay, and then one more set. All right, so first card up we have is Temperance, Sagittarius. We have a new moon coming up in Sagittarius later on this month. So Sagittarius really coming in and saying, yeah, even though I'm later on in the month, I am going to be a bit of an influence for you, even during this this full moon. Now, the great thing, which I talked about earlier in full moons, is that it can be comforting and kind of it can make us really rest and recuperate and heal and pay attention to the things that we have been avoiding, but really just releasing and purging, which can be so beautiful. So temperance gives this sense of balance coming in and healing. So those of you who have really been in some rut, mentally, emotionally, physically, with this thing that's been restricting you and oppressing you and, really holding you back from your greatest potential, It's almost as if temperance is coming in to say you're going to learn that you need to value yourself more in a balanced manner. You're going to learn that if you are that person that does everything for everyone, but you don't really see that return rate come back to you the same way, then there are some things that you're going to stop doing. There are some boundaries you're going to need to put up to create something that's more balanced and that's more reciprocal. Then we have the Queen of Wands, so fire sign energy again, Aries, Leo, or Sag. And then even in our latest weekly reading, so I think the December 2nd to December 8th, if you check out that video, I talked about how there's a lot of fire sign energy in this week for you guys. So a lot of people are really trying to do things that are more action based and take steps forward right before Mercury retrograde really shows its face. So Queen of Wands comes in and it's saying that a lot of people are going to be forced to make moves. So a lot of people, if you find that you want to move home and you've been planning to, this is the time that you will be pushed to do so. With Queen of Wands, you are really taking action. If it's finding new employment, if it's in your relationship, you are very passionate about what this is, because many people don't want to enter 2018 with this kind of stagnant energy. However, we do have the Nine of Swords coming in, but I don't see this as, and not to say some people are not anxious about this, being that we have that Mercury retrograde sneak in, it might create some dissonance between what you want and what has happened before. But I see Nine of Swords in this combination as basically that thing that has been causing you worry, that's been causing you, sleepless nights, crying on the pillow, XYZ. You're moving into a state where you can say, I'm done with this. This is not what I'm taking into 2018. And so I'm going to move forward and move on. Because a lot of people want stability. A lot of people want something that has long-term potential, something that can be built upon. Because for a long time, people have been confused. People have been blinding themselves to certain things, to certain truths. But then eventually, they get to a point where they realize what has happened. And sometimes when you've been blinding yourself for a long time, or when you've had blinders on for a long time, facing up to the truth is not the most comfortable thing. And with Five of Cups, we talked about this sense of regret. But if you choose to look at it in a more neutral manner, then you'll see that you still have opportunities on the table. You still have things that you can work with that can really help you and be to your advantage. So that's what's going to be the great thing for you during this full moon in Gemini. And then, of course, I'm going to get one card from the Romance Angels. Okay, we have calling in your soulmate. So what this also makes me think of is that a lot of people will be either going out, not just going out to bars or specifically to, have a romantic atmosphere, but just going out of their comfort zone, basically, because we see this sense of growth and expansion, right? So going out of their comfort zone and really trying to partake and participate in elements that help them to feel more confident, help them to feel more aligned with what they want in their future, help them to feel more aligned with the people they want to call in as potential partners. So it's not just because we talked about this sense of Sagittarius, fire sign energy. So I don't see you guys just, even though you're home now chilling in your robe, I don't see that happening during this time for the majority of you. I see you actually going out. I see you being with friends. I see you doing whatever you do that makes you really feel good and feel healthy and happy. So if it's yoga, you're going to yoga. If it's taking your dog for a walk in the park, you're doing that. Whatever makes you feel good, you're gonna end up doing that, because calling in your soulmate, and ultimately a soulmate can be ourselves. So first and foremost, you're doing what makes you happy, and then the people you attract are a reflection of that. So when we say calling in your soulmate, for me as a reader, it's basically calling in yourself. So if you feel like you've been, lost basically because of this, whatever this was for you, then you're really taking care of yourself. And because of that, you attract someone or people who reflect that and become a mirror for that. Okay? So I'm going to read it out. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Exactly. So guys, if you would like a reading for your specific situation, my links are down below. The link for the pre-registration for our brand new mini course, The Root of Deserving, that is down below as well. It's a 4-part mini course, and we end up basically inviting you to discuss the elements in your life that you feel may need some more conscious rewiring. So whether it's when it comes to wealth and what wealth really means for you, whether it's family patterns that you still really carry or embody in your life that still inhibit you in some way, whether it's romantic relationships and when people choose codependency or just conscious companionship, like who are you in that equation, which one are you in that equation, or of course self-love, which we just kind of mentioned. So that is available for pre-registration. The link is down below for that. I will see you guys very soon. I'm going to be doing, as I said, a Merc retrograde live stream reading and the new moon in Saggy reading the weekend that comes through. So I'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a beautiful Sunday.